introduction. So I'm a basically physics graduate. Done my PhD in physics from India, and then I moved to US. I did my first postdoc at UCSB. Um, I did that in a different department. It was a material department. I was looking for some change. So the reason I chose a different department than physics was the reason that I was looking for a change. But it wasn't very clear in my head what to do, what sort of change. So I chose a new department. And then everything, this COVID thing happened. So it was problematic to work with. So the beginning was fine. But later, I guess, after we decided that it's possibly better because of the situation and also many things. I moved to another lab here in New York, and I'm here. It's roughly 9 months. I'm here in this lab. It's good, and also the situation is better here compared to at that point at UCSB. The labs are much more functioning. So things are fine now. The work is also happening. It's good. So like most graduates, when you are in academia, so you don't see the, what extra opportunities are available beyond academia. So I was also not aware, and I guess still not aware, and that is why I sort of I want to have your advice on.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, so there are two things in my head which complicates my decision making. The first thing is I was sort of considering academia and industry on equal footing. Which one will be better for me? Second is the thing that makes it harder for me is the fact that it seems likely that I need to stay here or any country where industry jobs are available. I'm not so sure what's the industry job condition in India. So these two things are, because they're related and sort of making my decision making is a bit harder. So this is my second postdoc. The first postdoc was basically just 1 year. So I guess it's high time to decide. And the next step should be towards the direction where I want to go. And I guess if I have a little bit information about what it might be better for me to make the decision. Yeah.
Okay, great. I think I got a good idea then. So a couple of things I want to tell you. I think I'll concur with what you said. It's a high time. I think you're right.
Right.
I would say you are right at the place where you should look for a permanent transition. That's what I think. I think you are feeling too, in my opinion, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, more permanent, more like where you can start. I mean, I'm not sure if you're married or not, but most of the thing that comes out.
Not yet.
Okay. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're not married, things are much easier for you to make decision. Because, people who are married, then, it's a more constraint, less degree of freedom. So they have to consider many other things. So I guess in your cases, it's a good news in that sense. A couple of things I would tell you is, so, I graduated from here. Things were a little different, but I had my second postdoc too at Oak Ridge. I would tell you the challenges that comes. And I won't put J1 visa in there because, to be honest with you, whether you are in J1 visa or H1 visa as a student, if you come out, I'm not sure what are the major restrictions, but I had some friends who had J1 visa. I won't say there's a big difference, to be honest with you, unless and until you had to go back, that sort of a thing. But many people get waived on that part. But the problems are the same. I will tell you what you can do to overcome that problem. But I guess the biggest question is what you want to do.
Yes.
You have to make that decision in your mind. Should I stay here or should I go back? That has to do first. There should not be if and but on that part.
Yeah.
Okay, there should not be. I mean, I can't make that decision. You have to make. Because if you
Right.
say, I
Right.
want to go back, then of course you have to work in a different way versus if you say, I want to stay here.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about staying here. What are the challenges? Okay, the challenge number one would be is your visa won't allow you to work.
Right. For,
I'm
yeah.
talking,
Right.
I'm
For
just
the
talking
time
about
being.
industry.
Yes.
I'm just talking about industry right now. Do you have an industrial experience? Being in physics major, not an engineering major, may restrict few things also. May restrict, not true, but may. There are very few companies who hire people who have science background versus engineers. It's very well known. Yeah, you have a physics background, you have done some stuff in material science, you can play a little bit here and there, but you know, if you look at, I'm just talking in terms of the requirement. If you look at the openings, they say engineering background, more or less, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so most of the people who do their PhDs in science, they end up going to work in a national lab or in a academics. That's
Mm.
the usual trend.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the usual trend. If you'd ask me, okay, let's disregard that also. Even then, I think things would be difficult because, as I said, your visa. The only way you can stay here, and the only way I can stay here, I could have stayed here. Otherwise, I would have to go back to, is if I get my green card.
Yeah.
So my advice to you is, if you decide to stay here, you need to consult an immigration lawyer and say, hey, I have a PhD. What is the best way for me to get a green card? Because without that, things are very difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Uh, yeah.
That's number one. But
Yeah.
I can tell you one based on data, you have less publications. They're good one, but less.
Yeah.
I don't know what's your citation number is. If it's 1,000, amazing. If
No.
it's 300, you can start. If it's 50, it's difficult. So I will put that timeline. So again, you
Right.
can decide on that. If you have 50, things will be difficult. If you have 300, 400, you can start your green card process. That's where
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
start. Okay. So that's what the challenge would be. As I said, this is based on my experience and the data I have based on people I speak to and so forth.
Yeah. I guess I'm more inclined to go back, and but then, as I thought that they are kind of related, so given that I want to go back, then is my only option pursuing academia? Because that's what it seems like. I'm not fully aware of yeah, industrial
And
opening for a physics graduate in India.
you have to understand, in India, most of the PhDs, not all, but most of them end up going in academics.
Right.
I mean, how
Right.
many people go to industry and then you don't have that many core jobs too, right? So
Right.
what happens is you have a PhD. The idea is you go to academics because most of the bachelors and masters, they get occupied for the engineering jobs.
Right.
I mean, and
Yeah.
you have to understand the number of people. The supply demand is very bad over there. You have more
Skewed. Yeah.
supply than demand, right? So you have
Right.
to understand that part. Unless until you want to work at Infosys, but then you can't get that job too, because you have BTechs who are much smarter and probably can end up working much better, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't want to do that job too. So my unfortunately or fortunately, I would say that is the case. I mean,
Right.
I can tell you one thing. I know a lot of my friends. I know a lot of people who have done PhDs here. A lot of people I know who were my friends and were postdocs with me at Oak Ridge and Johns Hopkins, and they came from IC and IIT Madras and IIT Delhi. Everyone went back, and everyone is in academics. Everyone
Yeah.
except one person actually. He went to do GE, but he was engineering background from IC.
Mm.
Everyone is back, and but the good thing is that they end up going to IITs, all of them.
Yeah, yeah, I guess the current academic job market isn't too bad, I guess,
No, but
in
here's the
India.
thing. No, no, I again, it's not easy to get that too. It's not
Sure.
easy because, trust me, every freaking person nowadays, they want to go back and get the job. The number one place they look for is at IIT, so they don't have problem too. I mean, the good thing about you is your since your background is from India, your PhD is from India. That's a good news that you can, because over there, if you have a what you call godfather, that plays a big role, right? And here also is the same
Yeah,
thing in academics.
yeah,
But what I'm saying is, if you have a person there, and you have a you know you have a you have done your postdoc here for 3 years roughly, I think
yeah.
you can go back and get a academic job. But start preparing for that for now, because it takes a year.
Hmm.
That I can tell you. It doesn't happen right away.
Right,
So prepare yourself right now where you want to go, whether it's Calcutta, whether it's Bombay or Madras or whatever. And
right,
here's another thing. You have to also, there's a one very good, I will say, this resource I can tell you that you can look for is, look for in your place, your professor, the postdocs who came from who were from outside, like India or somewhere, where they end up. You will get an
right.
answer,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. True.
right? So you won't be that different.
Yeah, yeah. In the current lab, you mean? Yeah,
Yeah, a current lab or any lab for that matter.
yeah,
You will
yeah,
say, okay, let me see the 5 professors and the students who came, where they went. You will
yeah,
find extremely very, very less percentage, unless until they have, like, they got married to a US citizen or something. You know,
yeah.
it's difficult. I mean, if you get married to a US citizen, you have a US citizenship, things will be different. That's what I said. But because citizenship plays a very huge role, and one thing I've also seen that maybe not true for you is, people who have done their PhDs from India, since they spend so much time in India, they are very less likely to stay here.
Yeah, yeah. It's also,
That,
yeah, you become more invested where you
not
spend
in
more time.
invested, because you spend your time where you are molded. When I came here, I was an undergrad, right? For me, going
Right.
back was a little bit tricky because my friends were here.
Yeah,
I knew here. I didn't know anyone over there. But for people, like, I know my 2 friends who came to Johns Hopkins, and they, after a year, they went back. They couldn't stay.
right.
So, and both of them are professors at IITs. So good for them. But what I'm saying is, you have to understand that part. This is the
Yes,
reality.
makes
And
sense.
things won't be different for you
Yeah, right, right.
unless and
Yeah,
until
can you?
you do something different. Like, as I said, one of the things that people do is they get married to a US citizen. Then things are different, because then you don't have that barrier. But that's a personal choice.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, right. I understand that. So, can you tell me a little bit about? I have watched your previous interviews and the advices with other students about the your experience in the national lab. You spent 3 years, right?
No, I spent like a 1.5 year at
1.5 years.
Hopkins and about 2 year at about more or less 2 year in Oak Ridge. But the experience is fine. But my point is, why you want to do another postdoc there? You already have 2 postdocs.
Oh, okay. So the about the first postdoc, yeah,
I mean,
yeah. So
I'm telling you, you has spent time. You can't get that back.
okay,
See, here's the thing. 2 postdocs are enough. Trust me. That will
mm,
count as a postdoc. You can't say that was not a postdoc.
yeah, okay, yeah, yeah,
My point is, you can do 5 postdocs. That's up to you. But
mm,
trust me, after 2, everything goes
mm,
down.
okay,
My advice to you is, spend good time here so that you can publish, because running here and there won't
mm,
help you.
mm, yeah,
Because
right,
what will happen is, they will say 3, that's a lot. 2 is okay. Trust me. But
okay,
so my advice to you is, spend time here, try to publish there, because wherever you start, it takes a year before you even publish something.
right, exactly.
So why you
Yeah,
want to waste time?
that's right. That's one problem with or not problem, but that's the nature of the work in experimental or yeah engineering
Yeah,
type of work because it takes time to set up the basic things.
So
And
why? My point is, what do you gain if you go to a national lab? Because it's not like you get hired there. They don't hire postdocs that
mm,
often. I mean, you get lucky, you get hired. But my point is, what benefit you get unless and until if you are really good, you can anyway get hired.
mm,
People go to become a postdoc at a national lab because they think they will get hired. That's a wrong perception. Trust me. I mean, I was in that loop, and I know many of my friends. I mean, I know so
mm,
many postdocs. I mean, I
mm.
don't even know even a maybe one out of 200.
Oh, okay, that's
So
bad.
don't go with that perception. That's my
Mm,
point.
mm.
You are free to do whatever you want. You may get lucky, but don't go with that perception. Go with that
Yeah, yeah,
you will be a postdoc and you will come out as a postdoc. And over there's a limit how long you can stay as a postdoc. 2 years. And another thing is, if you have already have two postdocs, just check. They may not hire you.
I see.
So that's another thing. I think the idea is like PhD plus 5 years. Something there is a restriction there,
Mm, mm.
or maybe two posts or whatever it is. But my point here is, in my opinion, if you let's say if you leave tomorrow, you will be wasting your 2 or 2.5 year already after PhD, and then you need another 2-3 years.
Yeah, right. Any going to a new lab means
And then
deciding.
and if my here's my point. If you are at a place where you like the work and you have already settled,
Hmm,
trust me, the best thing is to work there harder and do better. Because if your professor is good, if your university is good, is an advisor, you like him, that's the best thing.
yeah, that is good actually at this point.
Yeah, so
So
if it is good, cultivate that. Don't run here and there, because what you're gonna gain. It's not like national labs are the best one. I mean, in terms of work and everything, it's not like they do amazing research or something. I mean, some of the professors do one of the great research.
hmm,
And also the only few national lab hire internationals, only DOE labs, not like every lab. So you have choices like in your hand, a couple of them, Oak Ridge, PNL, that's it. Lawrence Livermore is not going to hire you. Sandia is not going to hire you. Understand my point?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
So why you chase something where you already are settled, you already are doing fine, you already spend a year, you're about to publish, you're about doing great things, and then move on and do
Right.
good work. And then if I was you, I will be more worried about how can I publish the work what I'm doing, and more worried about what my next step is from here. More
Right.
permanent.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess at this point, many of the ITs they need at least 3 years of experience or something. Yeah,
Hey, but
about.
you will be probably in a year, you will be almost there.
Yeah, in a year I'll be there.
Yeah.
Right.
So what's the point? I mean, try to be, more productive in terms of your resume, publish and something. I think if you have few more publications, I mean, as you said, you have done a publication in good journals. If you have two more, you're ready to go to a more permanent transition.
I see. Okay, that seems doable.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if I was you, I see you become professor at some IITs in India. That to me is, I think, a much easier path for you. Uh,
Hmm.
Getting an industry job here or in India would be tricky. Here would be more difficult just because of visa. It's not like you're
Yeah.
not good or something, because visa
Mm-hmm.
poses a big restriction.
Right.
And yeah, unless until I mean, it doesn't mean that you can't apply. Keep applying. Never know, right? You never know. So keep applying, but don't make that your plan A. Make that as plan B in terms of like the probability of you getting that job. I say probability of you getting that job is being in India, becoming a professor is much easy. I would try to cultivate that, like talk to my professor, hey, thinking of coming back now. What should I do? What should I apply? Try to cultivate those relationships much more.
Hmm. Like giving talks or something.
Uh, I mean, if I was you, I would work hard. Trust me, because getting those jobs are not easy too. There are a lot of students here. Trust me that they don't get it. Even they have huge publications or whatever, and everybody is trying to go back these days. Because of political thing and things like that
Yeah.
that has happened. And but as I said, it doesn't restrict you to apply. You can apply.
Right.
Yeah. But doing another postdoc, nah, I'm not sure.
I see.
I
Okay.
don't.
Yeah. Good for that.
I don't think it will. It's going to help you more. I think it's going to damage much more in terms of what you can do here. And so, I mean, if I will apply for more permanent position there rather than postdoc. You know what I mean? That's what I meant.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense to me now. I think it's a good suggestion.
Yeah, because trust me, 2 postdocs or postdoc plus 3+ year, you're reaching a limit. Move on. That's where you move on.
Hmm.
That's
Right.
you need to move on. Otherwise, you will be in that postdoc cycle. And I have spoken to so many students who are in this postdoc cycle and they never come out. And then their life is like done in the career wise in terms of because you get into this postdoc loop and after another one after other.
Right. Yeah. That's
You don't want
right.
to be in that loop. That's a dangerous loop.
Yeah. In any way in academia, you have to publish paper. So yeah, you can as well publish as a PI. So,
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I see that more as a path because of what you chose in your career.
yeah.
But if you say, hey, I don't like anything, dude, quit everything and do an MBA. Many people, I know a couple of people who have done that too. So, you can do many things, but based on what you have now, unless until you said, oh, this is not for
No.
me, I'm done, I'm bored,
Yeah.
which is fine. People have that thing. Then how would you move on? Then go to Wharton, do an MBA and become a finance guy.
Yeah. That's a complete transition. Yeah.
Yeah,
New
I mean, I
transition.
know there was one guy at Oak Ridge, a postdoc who did that. He works for Wall Street now. Yep, people do that.
I see. But just for my knowledge, uh, that in national labs, so is there a hierarchy? Like in academia, you have a PI and then there are
Over there
postdocs
also,
and
yeah, it's the
students.
same thing everywhere. Every organization hierarchy. You have R&D staff member and then senior staff member. It's the same thing.
I see.
And national lab, by the way, is not a so-called in like India. There's a permanent job. You have to hunt for your money. The day you are out of money, you can't be an overhead. They will kick you out.
Oh,
Yeah, don't think it's a permanent. Like you go there and somebody will feed you. No, doesn't work that way over there. You have to bring your own
oh,
money
really?
for your salary. Yeah, you can't be overhead for like forever.
Oh, I see. When you get senior, you have to sort of write proposals and
Of
stuff.
course, you have to write. Where you get money then?
Oh, I don't know. I read some of this stuff, the things
Yeah.
that are in internet, and the idea that I got is if you're in national lab, then you, I mean, part of the money comes from the government directly for the national labs, and you don't have to worry about money.
No, but you have to write grants. I mean, I know a few people in Oak Ridge who didn't get grants and then they have to leave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Unless that you're part of a big consortium or something, but you have to work on that. Just like PI is the work here. The best job you can
Mhm.
get is a professor tenured because all you can do is teach and don't get summer salary.
Yeah, right.
But
So do
if
you?
you want to get summer salary, you have to research, right?
Hmm.
Otherwise, you don't get paid in summer. You only get paid for 9 months.
Yeah, yeah, right. And then remaining from the research grant or something.
Exactly. Summer salary you pull from a research grant. So what do? You write proposal. Over there, every month is a summer grant. There is no teaching. So where do you get money?
Right.
So you write research grant for every month. I mean, what I'm saying is like your money is coming from the grant. So when they say government gives you money, yeah, because you write a grant and you get the grant and then you get money. It's not like free money like India, like every salary. It doesn't work that way.
Right. So the about the industry situation in India, I know for example, uh, Tata has a, I don't know, I guess startup about graphene related stuff, and I'm not sure if there are many other new opportunities which has shown up in
That I can't tell
recent.
you because I don't have very few idea about
Yeah.
Indian market. But um, trust me, I have been told by people, if you want to go to India, go academics
Yeah,
rather than industry. Industries are not set up that way. They're more
that,
bachelors and masters, but PhDs, very few, very few.
right.
Yeah. If you want to do industry job, R&D, the US is better.
Yeah, true.
I said very few, doesn't mean all of them are like that, but very few.
Yeah, I mean it's a number game in the end, like the probability.
Yeah. But not only that, I think they're not set up for that sort of a thing. They're more,
Hmm. More of
manufacturing.
a we're exactly producing.
That's less, very few R&D. Like Apple R&D is, you want to work for Sunnyvale. What are you going to do in India? Sell Apple Watch? That's my point.
Yeah,
So very few industries are set up that way in India. So, as I said, this is the reality. So you have to make up your mind in that sense. But as I said, you are in a good position. I don't think you're in bad position to be launched into a academic sector in India. But if you don't make that right decision right now, then you will be in trouble.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My strong advice to you: work hard, publish, 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 citation. You will find a job in IITs or somewhere. But if you don't do that and worry about some other thing, you could be in trouble. Could be.
right. Yeah, thank you for the suggestion.
Yeah. And as I said, don't waste your time applying for another postdoc or something. Postdoc is just a career launch. If you're not going to launch, what's the point? What are you going to do? Third, fourth? It's not advisable.
Yeah, that's not a career in itself. That's true.
Postdoc is just meant for like you launch your career.
Hmm. Okay, you have simplified my
Good.
confusions.
Direct answers are better.
Yeah. So yeah, I can focus on the things that are need to be done.
Yeah. As I said, in your case, you're not married, everything. So your life is much simpler. Otherwise, sometimes people have are married, then it's difficult to answer these questions.
Right. Did I have any more questions? No, I guess, yeah. Yeah, I guess
But
I,
as I
I
said,
have that.
again, I will tell you one thing is just to summarize, whatever I told you about applying to India and preparing for that. But you can also keep on applying for jobs in here. If you find a job, apply. Because if somebody likes you, they can sponsor visa. The chances are grim, but who knows?
Yeah.
That's also true.
Yeah, I know, for example, there are big companies like Intel and stuff where it's likely that they will hire because they need a lot of PhDs to do some stuff, but
Yeah,
I
but
don't really like that kind of jobs. I mean, it's
no,
like
but it's not about what you like. They already have a lot of PhDs who are applying, who are from US, and they don't have to worry
that's
about their visa because for
yeah,
your case, they have to apply your visa right away. For US who graduated from PhD, they have 3-year OPT.
right.
So
That's
and
another
how good you
big
are,
difference.
everybody's good,
Yeah, it's yeah, same level. Yeah,
right? I have friends who are managers in Intel. I can tell you, as for every job you see, there are more applications than they can even digest. So again, how good you are,
right.
everybody is good. We are more or less like a normal distribution, few outliers, right?
True.
So it's hard to just then justify. And then if they have something, they know someone because of they are graduated from that university, they're alumni, and they know their
Exactly.
professor. That's what happens. They get picked
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
They
True.
already have done internship there. They get picked up.
Yeah. I mean, and in the end, it gets much easier to do job where you do your most of the studies, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's a culture part of it that I already told you. I mean, you know how good you can mix with people. Like you have PhDs from who have done their PhDs from here. I mean, their perception, the way they work versus you work, the way they think versus you think is very different. Your
Right.
thought process is different. So, it's for a long term, if you can assimilate here, that's good, because assimilation is important too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Right. Right.
I mean, that's what I think is important. But, generally Indian students are easy. They can assimilate because, our language is not a barrier and all that. But still, I think if you did large part of your studies in India, um, your connections are there. It's difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Thanks a lot, Amit.
Nice talking to you, and keep in touch and let me know if you need any help. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much for your
Sure.
help.
Bye.
And I must agree, this is a very good initiative that you're helping,
Sure.
all of us. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. Have a good day. Bye.